Hello and welcome to Midland, Texas, as we have the area championship between Urisu Troopers and the Southlake Carroll Dragons. The Dragons will win the tip, and if you haven't followed the Dragons season along, it's been pretty impressive. 24-3, 21 in a row, haven't lost since December 2nd. And of course the Troopers, runners-up in District 1-6A, and this Tuesday, beating Midland Legacy in a shootout at Eastwood High School. Of course, both teams ready to go here. I'm joined alongside Justice Urbina here. Justice, what are your thoughts for tonight?
You know, it should be a great matchup between the Carroll Dragons and here the Troopers. The Dragons coming in with a dominant force here, 24-3, like PJ said. 21 straight wins, but we'll see if the Troopers can match up with them.
Yeah, and one thing me and you pointed out here early on is, can the Dragons stop Amaya Williams? If you've watched any of the Trooper games, you know the offense and kind of the defense runs through Amaya Williams. Leads the team in every stat category except for assist. Of course, Miracle Anderson running that category for them. And that's going to be out of bounds, and the Troopers are going to retain possession.
Yeah, Maya Williams, she's really the star of this team. I mean, she is pretty much the captain for the Troopers here.
Yeah, and that's one thing the Troopers cannot do early on is miss shots and let the Dragons execute in transition, as the Dragons are going to get on the board first. Tade is going to put them on the board. And Campos is going to turn it over, and Jordan is going to go in for an easy two, and the Dragons off to a good start here, 4-0.
You know, the Troopers, you don't want to fall behind early on. You know, you want to get the scoring here early, as they're going to lose the ball again. Jordan goes up for the shot, and it's good. That's a 6-0 Dragon lead.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Falk, you kind of got to start thinking fast, because the Dragons are very good at capitalizing on mistakes, as Milani Jordan is going to take it up and down the court and get another two for the Dragons. And Coach Falk is going to do just that and call a timeout. And we're going to take a break with you as the Dragons lead the Troopers 8-0.
Early on, the defense from the Dragons, as they get another takeaway here, just being very dominant here. Williams takes that one away, and she's on a fast break. Puts it up and just misses.
Yeah, and that's great defense down low by Natalie Jordan to prevent those points. And I feel like we're going to see this a lot. The Dragons are going to kind of keep one back, and they're going to transition very fast as a three goes up, and it is good. Gianna Jordan drains that one.
And the Troopers honestly just kind of struggling here early on, trying to find their tempo and their rhythm.
As that's going to be a travel on Miracle Anderson, and the Dragons are going to get the ball back. Justice, it seems like that timeout kind of just hurt the Troopers a little more as the Dragons got in and got a quick three.
Yeah, it was almost like they just called the timeout for the Dragons to rest up.
Tade's going to take the three, and she's going to drain it. So the Dragons really not bad from any part of the court right now, in the paint kind of dominating, and right now back-to-back threes.
Yeah, the Troopers just kind of need to stop the bleeding on the defensive side and get some scoring done on the offensive side, as another missed shot from Miracle Anderson. And the shot is missed from Jordan, rebounded. Jordan puts up another shot off the top. Tade puts up a shot, and it's in and out. Rebounded again, and a foul. And 2 shots for the Dragons.
And Amaya Williams will get the rebound there. And the Troopers just looking for a spark here. A 15-0 run to start the game by the Dragons. And not what you wanted if you were the Troopers, because the Dragons are a team where when they get ahead, they can get ahead. Have outscored their opponents in this 21 winning streak run by 20 points. And that's going to be a jump ball. And the Troopers will maintain possession.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Falk, you just got to really find a rhythm here, not only on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. As, you know, a 15-0 run has really hurt them, as that's going to be a missed 3, and the Dragons will get the rebound.
And the Dragons are going to swing it out and drive it back in, and she's going to go in and get it. Milani Jordan there with just a great move to go outside in and get the points and one.
Yeah, really, they're showing to be really aggressive on the offensive. Not really taking too many risky shots, but they are scoring a lot of points here in a hurry.
Yeah, and the Dragons are really good right now at going up and down the court. Kind of seems like the Troopers can't keep up with them.
Yeah, Troopers showing early signs of struggling here from the get-go. And we'll see how they can adjust here.
As Abigail Dudon is going to kind of lose the ball there. And Miracle Anderson's going to take a long 3, and it's going to be off the rim, and Amaya Williams will get the board. Miracle Anderson's going to dish it down to Amaya Williams, and Williams is going to be fouled. So the first foul for the Dragons here is going to go on Gianna Jordan.
The Troopers really struggling to find any passing lanes here, and most passes are being deflected by the Dragons.
And that pass is going to be a turnover there. Abigail Trega really just didn't see the defender there, it looked like. So if you're just joining us, the Troopers right now trailing the Dragons 0-18 as the Dragons defense has been tout, as Victoria Duran's going to get the steal here and kind of try to go for the fast break and lose her feeding, as Amaya Williams is going to drive in, miss, get her own rebound, put it back up, miss again, and it is rebound by Natalie Jordan of the Dragons. Miracle Anderson will get the steal, pass it to Amaya Williams, and Amaya Williams is going to be fouled on the way up. So a crazy turn of events right there down low, but Amaya Williams will be on the line hoping to get the Troopers' first points of the night.
Yeah, just a lot of missed shots up to this point, and that's something you cannot have, especially against a team of this caliber in the Carroll Dragons.
And Williams is going to miss her first free throw. And for the Troopers right now, it's just trying to get on the board and stay in this one early on. As Williams takes her second free throw, and the Troopers are on the board with their first points of the game by Amaya Williams.
Troopers really need to play some stern defense here to keep the scoring to a minimum for the Dragons.
Yeah, and that's one thing Coach Falk really might hammer in right now if we get to the break or we get a timeout here. that they need to take care of the ball a little bit more. We've seen 5 turnovers early on by them, so it's something you definitely don't want to see early on. And also on the defensive end, maybe cause more turnovers, as Miracle Anderson's going to be fouled by Gunter.
The Troopers, again, just being suffocated by the Dragons' defense. And that is something that they will need to adjust to, and they will need to adjust to it fast, as it'll be a jump ball. The Carroll Dragons will retain possession.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Coach Falk and the Troopers, you really just need to kind of focus on one thing. You know, you got to go one kind of fix at a time. You can't try to put the bandage on this big wound right now, as Tate is going to put up the 3, and it is going to be no good. Rebounded by Flores. But we're going to have a steal by Tate and a foul on Miracle Anderson, and we're going to have a substitution now for the Dragons. Isabella Henderson's going to come in for the Dragons now. Milani Jordan's going to drive and be fouled, and she's going to be at the line for 2. Well, right now, Justice Milani Jordan kind of controlling the game here, really just starting outside, driving in. Troopers really don't have an answer for that right now.
Yeah, they haven't had an answer from the get-go, and as you saw earlier in the game, she had 3 back-to-back steals and a score on the fast break. And that was a big-time hit to the Troopers, as Maya Campos will sub in for the Troopers.
And Milani Jordan's going to make her second free throw to extend their lead now to 19. As Victoria Duran is going to dribble it across court. Miracle Anderson's going to have it now. Screen set by Amaya Williams. Down to Amaya Williams. Amaya Williams with a lot of contact is going to put up a shot. Maya Campos is going to get the rebound. Her shot is no good. And the Dragons are going to get possession, and Amaya Williams draws her second foul of the night.
Yeah, offensively, the Troopers are really, really struggling here.
And that's going to be another foul on Williams. She's going to get the blocking foul. So if you're Coach Falk right now, you might have to think about putting Amaya Williams on the bench for a little, just to save her for later on.
Yeah, definitely a big decision that Coach Falk is going to have to make here in the coming quarter, as, you know, you really are going to need Williams for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and Tade's going to make the first one, and the Dragons already in bonus with 7 fouls committed by the Troopers, and there we go. Amaya Williams is going to sit down early. So with 1:01 here in the first, we see the Troopers' kind of star player sit down. And Tade's going to make the second free throw. So Miracle Anderson will inbound it to Maya Campos. Maya Campos is going to drive in, take a little floater, and it is good. Maya Campos with the great lane read takes it in and gets 2 points.
And hopefully, if you're the Troopers, you can continue that momentum here into the defensive side to prevent a score.
Yeah, Natalie Jordan right there kind of fumbles it, as Gianna Jordan's going to put up a shot, and it is no good. Rebounded by Miracle Anderson. Alina Lopez is going to get it to the corner to Gabby Flores. Flores will not shoot it. Miracle Anderson at the top drives in, takes a shot, blocked, passes it to Victoria Duran, and Duran's going to get in on the action for the Troopers. So the Troopers on a little bit of a momentum spring here with 13 seconds left, as Tade's going to pass it off to the corner, and it is no good. Maya Campos on the rebound. Off to Gabby Flores. Back to Maya Campos. Half-court shot at the buzzer. No good. In and out. So a first half really controlled by the Dragons, but the Troopers showing a little effort late at the end is going to leave us at a 22-5 score at the end of the first. and we'll be right back with you. And we are back after the period break. And Justice, the thoughts on the first half, the Dragons, wow. We did not expect that so fast by the Dragons, putting up 22 and 20 unanswered before the Troopers even got a point. Yeah. What do you got to say about that first?
They really came out swinging in the first quarter, and they had all the momentum, all of it, as they come out here with another shot made, making it a 24-5 deficit for the Troopers.
Yeah, and right now the Troopers really can't figure out who to guard. You'll have Milani Jordan go in and drive in on you and get the two, as Victoria Dudon puts up a three, and it is no good. And the Dragons are going to go coast to coast once again. Tate is going to put up the shot, and it is going to be good. But the Dragons really just excelling at kind of going coast to coast, fast tempo, and the Troopers can't keep up.
And if you're the Troopers, you can't take careless shots and force the ball. You need to slow it down to your pace and take good shots that aren't overly contested.
And Lopez is going to miss that three-pointer, and we're going to get a jump ball, and the Troopers are going to have possession here. As Victoria Dudon's going to check in now for the Troopers. And the Troopers are going to trap in the corner, but they're going to get the pass off to Tate, and Tate is going to put another one up for two, and the Dragons extending their lead now.
And that's always the killer when you run a trap defense, is there's always going to be one person that is unguarded, and that right there bit the Troopers.
Yeah, and that really kind of was the perfect trap, but the pass was able to get off, and that's what killed the Troopers down low. As Isabella Henderson will pick up a foul on Miracle Anderson, and Anderson will now inbound the ball to Flores, and Flores is going to fumble the pass, and Milani Jordan just coast to coast but misses the layup, and the Troopers will gain back possession.
And these are the possessions that you really have to take advantage of on a missed shot, taking it down to the other side of the court, and you got to get some points there.
And Natalie Jordan's going to pick up a foul now, her first of the game. And both teams kind of in early foul trouble as Maya Campos gets the inbound, drives in, and misses off the rim. And the Dragons kind of slowing it down now as Milani Jordan will pass it off. And now a travel on the Dragons. So the Troopers are going to get the ball back. And like you said, Justice, the Troopers just need to capitalize on everything the Dragons are doing wrong at this point.
Yeah, they really need to take advantage of the missed shots, and they just are having missed opportunity over and over again.
And now we're going to see Olivia Morales check in for the Troopers. So a little bit more of a three-point shooter that the Troopers might need as Campos is going to dribble it across the floor. And if you didn't watch the first half, Amaya Williams got into early foul trouble already with 3, so she had to take a seat as the Dragons are going to go coast to coast, and Tade is going to put it up for 2, and the Dragons now up 30-5 early in the second on the Troopers.
The Troopers really, really struggling with getting the numbers down court on the defensive side on a fast break and just kind of letting them get behind them, as you're going to see right here. And
as Milani Jordan is just going to get the perfect pass and lay it in for an easy 2, and the Troopers can't get the turnovers to go away as Miracle Anderson's going to drive in too strong and miss it. And Milani Jordan will get the rebound. Gianna Jordan is going to drive it across the court and be fouled by Victoria Duran. So we're going to get Gianna Jordan at the line as Asha Williams will check in for Miracle Anderson for the Troopers.
Yeah, the Troopers honestly just really, really struggling on the defensive.
Yeah, and one thing the Troopers are not doing well right now is transition defense. You'll see at least 3 Dragons on one side of the court, and the Troopers slowly catching up. And going to throw it out to Olivia Morales. Morales is going to be a little short on the 3, and the Dragons are going to do their signature coast-to-coast here as Tate is going to drive it in, pass it out to Milani Jordan. Milani Jordan's going to miss, rebounded, and that is good by Natalie Jordan. So right now it's kind of Jordan to Jordan to Jordan for Southlake as Milani Jordan, Gianna Jordan, and Natalie Jordan kind of controlling it.
Yeah, the Troopers just really struggling containing those 3, as that's going to be another missed shot here on the offensive for the Troopers.
Abigail Ortega will come back in for the Troopers. And right now, Coach Falk just trying to find an answer for what the Dragons are doing. Really no answer right now with the Dragons' potent offense. As we're going to put up a 3, no good. And the Troopers are going to rebound. Ortega will get the rebound. Asha Williams in the corner will pass it off to Morales. Morales to Campos. Back to Williams. Williams takes about a little in from the free throw line jumper, and it is good to get the Troopers to 7, and the Dragons are going to go quick tempo. And Gianna Jordan with a perfect 3 right there in the corner, and the Dragons extend their lead now to 32, and we touched on it earlier, Justice. The Dragons right now on a 21 game winning streak, and they kind of suffocate opponents, as that's going to be a foul on Victoria Duran, kind of close there down low.
Yeah, a bit of an iffy call there. Coach Falk doesn't seem too happy about it.
And Milani Jordan's going to be at the line, and she's going to make the first one. Well, the Troopers got in early foul trouble, and it has really helped the Dragons as they are almost perfect from the free throw line early on.
Yeah, just the Troopers, I mean, they're really, really struggling right now. I haven't seen them struggle like this all season long.
Yeah, and the Dragons still with their full court press, and honestly, I really respect that full court press even in this kind of game, as Maya Campos is going to drive in and be fouled by Gianna Jordan.
I like the idea of the double teams on defense, but you just can't leave shooters open, because it's just allowing them to score so many points that could be taken away if you just stay on your man.
Yeah, and right now the Dragons are just finding a person to pass it to. Really, their whole team has had a hot hand, and they haven't struggled with finding the points.
Yeah, everybody getting in on the scoring action for the Dragons.
But the Troopers are going to add one with Maya Campos on the line. And the score now 8-40 with the Troopers trailing here early. And Campos is going to get a steal. One-on-one, pulls up, no good. Great defense by Slotkin, and the Dragons are going to go fast pace up and down. Milani Jordan's going to put it up and good, and the Dragons really can't miss right now.
Yeah, they are just making everything and anything they put up.
And the Dragons doing excellent on going up and down the floor. I have really not seen a transition like this so good ever in basketball.
Another thing that I think the Troopers need to emphasize here is crashing the boards. Just trying to get the rebounds, trying to fight for those rebounds on both sides of the court, as the Troopers are going to take another timeout. And with 1:45 in the second quarter, they trail 44-8.
Welcome back to Midland, Texas, where the Dragons dominating the Troopers here early on in the first half, 44-8. And an interesting stat we got during the timeout, this is the most points allowed in a first half game under Coach Falk here at Eastwood. Is Asha Williams going to put up a long two, and it is going to be no good as a scramble on the ground. Miracle Anderson's going to get away with it, pass it to no one, and Maya Campos will get it, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by the Dragons on Campos' pass in. Well, justice hasn't been pretty for the Troopers, but for the Dragons, definitely putting on a clinic in transition is Asha Williams is going to get some points down low, and the Troopers are going to get to digits here late in the second, as Jordan's going to pull up from the free throw line extended and drain another one.
And, don't get me wrong, I do believe basketball is a team sport, but right now, Asha Williams is hot on the offensive, and you just got to keep on feeding her the ball.
Yeah, and I like what Coach Falk kind of did right now, kind of bringing in more of forwards, centers with Miracle Anderson and Asha Williams. A little bit of a size disadvantage is Anderson's going to drive in and pass it off to Abigail Ortega, and Ortega's going to get in on the fun now, and the Troopers now trail 46-12.
And that's what you need. You need to find your passes, you need to find your passing lanes, and you need to find the easy scores and just suffocate them on defense and prevent the scoring.
And Tate is going to put up the shot, and it is going to go. So with 10 seconds here now in the half, the Troopers are just kind of going to wait for this last shot and get something up, as Campos is going to drive, lose it, and we're going to go to half, as the Dragons have controlled the first half and lead 48-12. We'll be right back after half. Welcome back to Midland, Texas after half. If you missed the first quarter, you missed a clinic by Southlake Carroll and their offense. And the three-headed monster of the Jordans really just controlling the tempo right now as the Dragons lead 48-12. And Justice, the Troopers really haven't been able to go anywhere with the ball offensively. And how do they fix it?
I think you just kind of got to look for the passing lanes, look for open shots, take smart shots, and just limit the scoring from the Dragons on the defensive side.
And Asha Williams will get us going here in this third quarter with the first points. So definitely a better start to this half than last half. The Dragons started off on a 20-0 run before Amaya Williams got to the line and put up one for the Troopers. But the Dragons really good in transition early, and the Troopers not able to stop them in transition early, as right there the Troopers defense is going to hold strong in the paint. And Miracle Anderson is going to drive in, put it up, and it is good. So the Troopers starting the second half a lot better than they started the game early on with 4 early.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to keep this momentum going, as they are coming out way better than what they did in the first half.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Southlake Dragons, we noticed coming out of halftime, they did not do a shoot-around, and the Troopers did, so that might be a little hint right there to why the Dragons have it heated up, as missed shot after missed shot, and that's going to be out of bounds on the Dragons, and the Troopers are going to get the ball, and that's going to go down as a turnover.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a misstep there, a mistake from the Dragons as to not shoot around before the half started.
Yeah, and it might take them a couple minutes here to warm up, as it's kind of a colder environment here in the gym, as the Troopers have been able to put up 4 early on, as Amaya Williams gets it to her sister Asha Williams, and that's going to be a 3 for the Troopers, and the Troopers cutting down right now to the Dragon lead, 19-49 now.
And this is the perfect opportunity to, really get some points on the board and change the momentum of this game. Suffocate the Dragons on defense, as there you go, Amaya Williams with a block on the fast break, puts it up, and it falls in. 21-49, the Troopers, and the ball is thrown out of bounds, and the Troopers will regain possession, and the Troopers really coming out strong here in the second half as the Dragons call a timeout with 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in the third quarter.
Welcome back, as the third quarter just beginning, and the Troopers kind of coming back fast, putting up an early 7, and now trail 21-49 coming out of the break. And that's going to be tipped out by the Troopers, and the Dragons are going to get the ball. And Justice, really just a great start here early on by the Troopers.
Yeah, the Troopers could not have come out any better, and they really need to continue that here after the timeout break, as they need to shut down the Dragons offensively and continue their offensive momentum.
Yeah, in a point me and you pointed out before we went to break, is the Dragons didn't do a shoot-around or didn't come out and get loose, really. And I believe the Dragon bench and coaching staff kind of let them know that, why did we do that? Because during the timeout, it was not a pleasant timeout for the Dragons, as Maya Campos is going to go coast to coast and get it in for 2. So a different Trooper team here in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, definitely showing some fire to them here, shutting down the Dragons completely on offense.
And the Dragons haven't scored a point yet in this half, So the Troopers looking kind of stout defensively as another missed shot, and Amaya Williams is going to rebound it, and Miracle Anderson's going to, I guess you could say, pass it down low to Abigail Ortega, and she's going to miss, and the Dragons are going to do what they do best and go fast up and down, and the pass to Tate is going to lead for the Dragons' first points of the second half.
And, you know, just a little hiccup there for the Troopers, but you cannot let that set you back. You need to continue the offensive power that you have had here coming out in the second half.
Yeah, and it's one thing we touched on in the first half that the Dragons were doing very well is transition offense, and one thing the Troopers were doing very bad was transition defense, and right there, the Dragons kind of got them. You see Amaya Williams kind of was getting ready for the charge, but it was a 2v1 situation and really nothing she could do down low.
I really like what the Troopers are doing here offensively and defensively, just taking really good care of the ball and forcing turnovers on defense. As Asha Williams puts up a three in the corner, and it's rebounded by Amaya Williams, put up, and she will go to the line for two.
Yeah, and you could kind of even see a momentum flip right now. The Southlake bench kind of just seems dead right now, and the Troopers bench is kind of all on their feet, so even despite the deficit, the Troopers still rattling in it.
Yeah, the Troopers, I mean, they're really, really making a point here that they are not defeated yet.
As Williams is going to miss her first free throw. And she will miss the pair of free throws. So somewhere the Troopers probably need to capitalize, especially now as the Dragons continue to struggle offensively. And they're going to put up a three, and it is no good. Abigail Ortega will lose her footing, and Milani Jordan will miss the layup. And Asha Williams, 2v1 down low, going to put it up and be fouled on her way up. So she's going to go at the line. And Justice, a perfect start so far.
Yeah, they're doing very, very well here transitioning, which is something that we did not see in the first half, as well as, you know, really taking advantage of the turnovers on defense.
And Asha Williams is going to make her first free throw to put the Troopers at 24 now, with 3:40 left to go here in the third. And she's going to miss her second, and the Dragons will have it now offensively. The Troopers now going with a little bit more of a press, something we didn't see in the first half. So definitely a change Coach Falk made and saw, as Miracle Anderson is going to get called for a push down low. And we're going to have Gabby Flores check in for Asha Williams.
I love the aggressiveness from the Troopers here on defense, but one thing to keep in mind is just don't get over-aggressive to the point where you are leaving somebody unguarded.
Yeah, and Milani Jordan's going to put one up there, and she was really the star of the first half. Her, Gianna Jordan, and Natalie Jordan were the three-headed monster for the Dragons, or you could say the three-headed dragon in this case. And just really impressive what those three were able to do, as Asha Williams will check back in for Miracle Anderson, I believe.
The Troopers really, really need to take advantage here of the defensive presence that they are making here in the second half, as Williams puts up a shot and it's missed. And the Dragons will push down the court, and the Troopers bench going berserk, asking for a travel.
As Tate's going to put it up for two there, and the Dragons might have got away with that one there, as Campos is going to take the ball across half court for the Troopers, pass it off to Amaya Williams. That's going to be a turnover by Amaya Williams. And something the Troopers are doing well right now is transition defense, but they're going to leave one open in the corner, and it is going to be no good. So definitely a breath of fresh air on that miss three-pointer, wide open three-pointer.
Yeah, that's one thing that, I mean, we've kind of seen all game from the Troopers. They have left at least one man unguarded as Maya Campos, the jumper there goes in.
Yeah, and right now, we saw Amaya Williams get in foul trouble early, so it's kind of all on Maya Campos right now early. But now that she has Amaya Williams with her, you could see a little bit more offensive production off them two just bouncing off each other, as that's going to go off Asha Williams' foot. As Milani Jordan's going to put up a shot and it is no good. Maya Campos is going to get the rebound, pull up from the free throw line. Good. So Maya Campos coming alive here in the second half for the Troopers, as the Dragons will do their signature and go fast. And the shot's going to be blocked by Amaya Williams. And Natalie Jordan will put up the shot. No good. Gets her own rebound. And the Dragons kind of scrambling offensively with the Troopers' defense kind of attacking them good, and that's going to be a travel down low. So the Troopers defensively right now doing everything right, and the Dragons just can't find their footing.
This is definitely a different defense aside from the defense that we saw in the first half. I mean, they are truly suffocating the Dragons here, as the Dragons have only scored 8 points in this half.
Yeah, and Coach Falk, really, when she got hired, installed a great defense for the Troopers. And right now, Abigail Ortega is going to be at the line for 2 for the Troopers. And Justice, this is going to be a huge point for the Troopers. They need to start making these free throws, as she misses the first one. And we've seen missed free throws by the Troopers, and this is where the Dragons might excel. They have 12-plus points on the line, and the Troopers only with 4.
Yeah, just countless missed opportunities here on the free throw line. I mean, they could have had, I would even go to say, maybe 10-plus points here from the free throw line that they've missed.
Yeah, and the Troopers doing a great job of staying out of the foul trouble right now. Of course, only with 1 team foul. Early on in the first, they had about 7 in the first half, as Alina Lopez is going to tap that out of bounds, and the Dragons are going to retain possession. And that foul is going to be on Natalie Jordan. I believe it was a push-off on Amaya Williams. So the Troopers kind of really face-guarding them, and the Dragons not liking it.
And you see here the Dragons going back to their full-court press, which is something the Troopers struggled to face up against in the first half. We'll see what they do here.
Yeah, and Amaya Williams is going to put up a contested shot, rebounded by Abigail Ortega, and Ortega is going to put up a no-look shot, and it goes in. So the Troopers cutting the lead now with 5 seconds here. Gianna Jordan will drive in. It's going to go out of bounds, and we're going to have 1.51 on the clock with Dragon ball down low. And I don't know if she was trying to kind of get a timeout there off tying her shoes, waiting for their coach to call in something. And it's going to go to Tate, and Tate's going to put it up, and no good. So Justice, a completely different script here in the third. The Troopers come out swinging and almost double their total of points. And now we go to the fourth with the Troopers trailing the Dragons 31-55.
And we are back to start the fourth and final quarter of this one. The Troopers clawing their way back into this one, yet still trail 31-55. But, I mean, I would not count the Troopers out. They had a very, very productive third quarter, almost doubling the points they scored in the first half.
Yeah, and the Dragons coming out flat. Of course, the Troopers just used that to all their advantage. And especially in transition, the Troopers really now just stopped them in transition, and the Dragons just can't do what they want to do in transition, as we're having a little trouble here with the books trying to figure out who has possession coming out of the half. And so we're not too sure what that delay was, but we're just going to roll with it as we start with the fourth. And the Troopers trailing the Dragons 55-31. But a third quarter the Troopers can be proud of. And that's going to be a turnover by the Dragons. Maya Campos putting the pressure down there, and they're going to force a turnover. So Justice, definitely a different third quarter we saw than the first half. And the Troopers trying to claw their way back in.
Yeah, they are going to have to do everything in their power to put as many points up on the board. But that did not seem hard for them to do in the third quarter. I mean, they were really excelling on the offensive side and defensive side of things.
Yeah, and one thing the Troopers are going to have to take into consideration is there's no shot clock. So we might have the Dragons kind of hold the ball a little longer than you would expect and try to get points. So the Troopers might start fouling a little tic-tacky here to just put them on the line and then get the ball back. But the Dragons have been almost perfect on the line today, so you really just don't want to give away free points, but you also want to have enough time, as the Troopers kind of passing it around right now looking for an opportunity.
And one thing you can't do here on offense is what they're seeming to do is become passive and just take too long looking for a shot. You have to be aggressive and put a smart non-contested shot up.
And that ball is going to go out of bounds on Tade. So the Troopers are going to have the ball here. Maya Campos will inbound it. And something that has really had the Troopers back today, or mainly in the second half, is having Amaya Williams back. You know, she picked up 3 almost in the first 2 minutes of the game and kind of sat her down for the whole second quarter. So definitely something that the Troopers were happy about, that she was able to get back out of that foul trouble.
Yeah, the Troopers, I mean, they really came out strong here, and they really need to continue that here in the fourth quarter.
As Tade's going to put up the shot, no good, gets her own rebound, and gets 2 for the Dragons. So the Dragons now at 57, and the Troopers might need to put a little pace into it, as that's going to be a kickball off Gianna Jordan. And we're going to have a substitution here for the Troopers. Victoria Dudon's going to check in.
That's, I think, a very uncommon foul that we've seen a lot tonight, is the kick ball violation.
Yeah, and it's really, the Dragons really use it kind of to their advantage, you know, just blocking the passing lanes just like that, as Gianna Jordan's going to go coast to coast, but Amaya Williams is going to pick it out from behind her, but is going to go out of bounds on the Troopers, so the Dragons will have the ball inside their own paint here. And Tate's going to put up a shot from the free throw line. No good, and we're going to get a foul. I believe it's going to be on Miracle Anderson. And it's going to be on Miracle Anderson.
And I just saw here from the scorer's table, I believe that was her 4th foul of the game. So, you know, the Troopers definitely getting in some foul trouble here as the game progresses to be later and later.
As Tate's going to take a jumper from the free throw line and drain it. So the Dragons now lead 59-31 as Miracle Anderson will take it across the court, pass it off to Amaya Williams. Williams will kind of press in a bit back to Anderson. Anderson's going to drive, put up a shot, and be fouled. And she's going to go at the line. The foul's going to go on Isabella Henderson. And Anderson will now take 2 from the line. And she's going to make the first one. Asha Williams will check in now for Victoria Duran. Or, excuse me, Maya Campos. And Anderson's going to make both. So something we touched on is the Troopers need to start making their free throws as the Dragons go coast to coast. And a 3-point miss, but a rebound. Anderson's going to have it and then try to pass it out, but no good. And it's going to be a foul call on Victoria Duran and put the Dragons at the line once again.
And the free throw is good for the Dragons. Troopers really need to, you know, lock down on the defensive side of things and create scoring opportunities on offense, as it has been a little slow here to start out the 4th quarter.
Definitely sluggish from the 3rd to the 4th, as they're going to get it out to Amaya Williams. Amaya Williams is going to miss, but they're going to get a rebound by Ortega. Ortega throws it out to Asha Williams, and then to Duran, back to Williams. Williams to Williams, and no good. Abigail Ortega is going to get the rebound, no good. Amaya Williams will get the rebound, no good. And now the Dragons will have it and go coast to coast as they usually do. But a turnover, not very common by the Dragons in that transition. But the Troopers will now have the ball back, down 27.
Yeah, the Troopers really facing a big deficit here in the 4th quarter, but they need to remain, you know, aggressive in the sense that you need to get the scoring, you know, going here.
And that's going to put Abigail Ortega on the line. So the Troopers now here going to be able to cut it down by 2 if she makes these 2 free throws. And she's going to miss the first. Ortega's going to miss a pair of the free throws, and the Dragons going to pass the ball, and Tate's going to put up a shot, no good. And the Troopers are going to rebound it. The rebound will go to Victoria Duran.
I don't know if you saw it there, but the Troopers started to transition into a full court press as Amaya Williams, what a move.
Yeah, and that's a great move to get inside. But I like how you pointed out that full court press, because the Troopers kind of need to step on the gas pedal, because this is what the Dragons are going to do now. They're going to hold the ball, waste as much time as they can, because there is no shot clock in high school basketball. as Jordan's going to put it up, and Anderson's going to grab the board, and the Troopers kind of need to pick up the pace here. You can't really stop and set an offense, you know, with 3:40 here. You kind of got to run and gun and let's go. As Coach Falk's going to take a timeout, and we're going to take one with you. So with 3:38 left here in the game, the Dragons lead the Troopers 60-35.
And we are back from the break. The Troopers desperately need some points here as the game is moving later and later.
As Williams is going to put up 3, and it is going to be no good. And Trooper fans, we just wanted to remind you, tomorrow we will bring coverage of the boys' seeding game versus Franklin from Bowie High School. So that's definitely going to be an important one to see who gets the 1 and 2 out of 1-6A. So make sure you tune in to that one tomorrow. And Tate's going to make her first. And Olivia Morales is going to check in now for the Troopers. And Tate's going to make both. So the Troopers
still trailing 62-35 now, with the clock winding down to about 3 minutes.
As Williams is going to drive in, and it is going to go and hit every part of the rim except go in the basket. And the Dragons are going to think about pushing the tempo, but pass it out to Tate, and Tate's going to drain a 3. And the Dragons extend their lead once again to 30. So the Troopers trailing the Dragons 35-65 with 2:30 left here in the fourth. And Miracle Anderson's going to take a deep 3 and drain it to cut the lead down for the Troopers, and definitely something the Troopers needed as a little bit of a spark here with 2 minutes left. As Tate is going to put it up again, no good. A battle for it down low, and the Troopers are going to come away with it. Amaya Williams is going to push the tempo up and down the court. Pass it off to Morales. Morales is going to shoot it, miss it off the iron, and we're going to have a foul, and that might be it for Miracle Anderson picking up her 5th. Oh, excuse me, the foul was on Abigail Ortega. So as we close out this area district game, Justice, really just the story too little too late for the Troopers. Really had a great start of the second half, but of course what they did in the first half just set them back way too much.
Yeah, I mean, they're finding their rhythm here. They really got the momentum on their side, but it's just too late. You know, if you would have started that in the first half, you would have had a big fighting chance here.
And that's going to be a foul on Amaya Williams there.
And the Dragons continue to stay consistent and nearly perfect from the line as they have made another free throw to extend their lead 66-40.
And Amaya Williams is going to grab the board and be fouled by Jordan. So that's going to put the Troopers on the line here. And you're going to see some substitutions now for the Troopers.
Sienna Hernandez will check in for the Troopers here. And set to check in for the Troopers as well as number 30, Natalie Tovar, number 21, Alexis Corona, and number 34, Alina Lopez.
Yeah, and as the clock winds down, really nothing to be ashamed about here for the Troopers. Of course, a great season, first playoff win in over 10 years for this girls program, and Coach Falk grabbing her first playoff win in just her third playoff appearance year. So definitely a lot of positives, and the Troopers will come back next year with a lot of the same faces. Of course, only really losing Miracle Anderson, Alina Lopez, and Ashley Alvarado. So the Troopers, and Asha Williams, excuse me. So Maya Williams will drive in there and no shot as the foul is going to be on the floor. But of course the Troopers, nothing to be ashamed about this year, and just going to come up short here in this area championship.
Yeah, definitely a rough game to lose here. You know, just coming out of the gates hot in the second half, but it just too late for them. But, you know, like you said, a lot of positives to come out of this season, and a lot to look forward to next year as well.
So Maya Williams will foul on purpose here to get Alina Lopez in, of course, a senior on the team, and kind of just ride this game 26 seconds out here as the Dragons once again excel from the free throw line with Milani Jordan. Well, and that basket's going to be the last points in this game as Alexis Corona puts up a half court and it is no good. And the Troopers are going to fall here in the area round to the Southlake Carroll Dragons, 41-69. And Justice, really a game of started hot, stayed hot for the Dragons. Of course, they had that little hiccup there in the third, but started off way too strong for the Troopers to handle later on. And just a great game overall.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, the Troopers have nothing to be ashamed of. You know, they played a great game today and just fell a little bit short.
Yeah, and we wish safe travels to all of our friends in Southlake Carroll. And we'll head back to El Paso tonight, and we'll bring you the boys' game tomorrow from Bowie High School at 6 o'clock. For all of us here at Eastwood Performance and Athletics, for our athletic director Julio Lopez and our principal Benita Torres, it has been a great girls basketball season. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.